In '08, you marry. 2010, you start having symptoms. 2015, so there's 3 kids that come along, then a brain tumor, and that gets removed. And then you have chronic pain.
Yeah.
As a caregiver, Claire, what were some of your experiences in the church, experiences with friends, experiences that you wish were different?
Oh man, so many thoughts come to mind all at one time.
Yeah.
If I were to go chronologically, I would say the first thing, like when he got the diagnosis, I did not want to be at church. I did not want to be around people. But at the same time, I knew that that's what I needed. And so I forced myself to go. And my brain is a little fuzzy from that time, but I do remember being loved and cared for and listened to, even maybe when I didn't want to speak, if you will. And the church, oh man, they were there for us in so many ways.
Even congregations that we weren't part of anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is so unusual. That is so unusual.
Yeah.
Grace, just the Lord's grace through his people. There were two families in particular who were watching our oldest 2 while Kenny went to the doctor for the diagnosis of the tumor. And of course, we called them after we called our family and let them know the news. And of course, we didn't expect it. But by the time we got home, they had ordered in a full meal and were just there and cared for us on throughout the night. They were there to talk with and be with. There was times too where I just couldn't be near people. I loved them, but they respected that too and just gave me my space, let me go cry. And then when I could come back, I wanted to be with them at the same time. So they were just there.
I really don't think they went home till around 3 a.m. personally. I mean, I was up late with them. They really cared for us. And there was another church that was out near where we had the surgery done in Raleigh, North Carolina, because we were at Duke University. And they sent people. A good friend of mine who's a pastor came and prayed over me before my surgery. Now, I will say, at the time we were in a hard church situation, and we've been in some really hard church situations since then. And I think that for us, it's been a matter of holding on to the good and letting go of the bad. Because we did, you deal with people who mean well, but they'll say things like, well, maybe you should just sleep more, or don't eat meat, or only organic food.
Have you tried this diet? And what about that medication?
And you have to remember, even though it comes off painful when it happens, but you have to remember they're saying that because they care and they want you to feel better, But yeah, the church, because it's a group of people, it's a mixed bag, and you have to be able to hold on to the good and just set aside the hurtful things, because they're going to happen. I mean, we're going to hurt each other. I mean, think about your closest relationships. We have our marriage, we have our kids. We're all really good at hurting each other unintentionally. It happens. It's part of life. And so, learning, I've had to learn. I've had to learn to be gracious and to say, okay, what can I take away from this that's helpful and nourishing, so to speak?
I will say that the term caregiver has been kind of hard to wrap my brain around, because yes, I need to take care of him and help him. And there was definitely a season where that was more prevalent than it is at the moment. But also the struggle to do that, but also see him as my husband, not just the one I'm taking care of, and me as his wife. And I have a tendency to want to pile all the burdens on my shoulders and say, okay, I got it. It's fine. I'll take it. But I'm human. I can't take it. Yeah. And so one is being honest when I need help. And that can be hard to do. But even with Kenny, I feel like at first I felt like it would be really hurtful to him if I told him all that I was feeling and, hey, how your feelings really hurting me or really affecting me in this way. And But I realized in order for us to have a healthier relationship, I've got to be honest with him about those struggles and saying, hey, I just can't hold this right now, or I'm struggling. And I will say, because of that, even in his sickest, as best he could, he supported me too, just knowing that it was affecting both of us, just in different ways.
Yeah.
And
I think there was important, like, communication in marriage is already important, but it's really important when you're dealing with a health situation like this. And like, the problem for me is up until I was sick, I had a very, very healthy life. Did a lot of things. And all of a sudden there were a lot of things I couldn't do. Shortly after my brain surgery, I fell off my lawnmower twice just trying to mow the lawn. And, at 30, having to go, I got to pay somebody to mow my lawn because I can't mow the lawn anymore. A lot of these things, I've always been an avid outdoors person. There was a lot I couldn't do for a long time. There's a lot I still can't do. I wasn't able to teach my oldest to throw football until he was like 7, I wasn't healthy enough to do that like I wanted. And being able to be open with Claire about, I'm feeling useless right now. I feel like I'm a drag on the family. This is really hard. And, for her to say, well, that's not the case. You need to rest. We just need to know how, for a healthy marriage to operate, we have to know how the other person's feeling. And part of that, if you look at 1 Corinthians 13, where Paul talks about love, it says love believes all things. And what he's getting at there is that genuine love assumes the best about the other person. And our sinful nature has the tendency to want to imagine the worst about the people that we love the most when we're in a difficult situation. And so, when I'm sulking and feeling bad, I'm thinking, man, she's so mad at me. This has got to be awful. She probably hates what I'm going through. It gets in your head. And then you have to think back, well, I've been married to her for so long, and that's not the person she is. You just have to preach to yourself a lot of times. But having that open communication makes it better.